Hey, it's Pete, North Las Vegas. Anyway, I got motivated today. The weather's starting to cool off. It's supposed to stay under 100, so I thought I'd get out here and take care of a few things on the suspension that over time have rotted out. And I don't know if you can, how good the camera's picking that up, but these ball joint boots have dried and rotted. And I thought it was just the top, but looking at the bottom, they're dried out too. So I went and bought these energy suspensions that Classic Industry sells, and this says 70 to 87 GM ball joint boots. I had an extra set of ball joints, factory ball joints, TRW. These are actually made in the US. I bought these quite some time ago, but none of these boots actually fit. So this larger one is supposed to be for the bottom. The smaller one's supposed to be for the top ball joint. And you can see that's not even close to working. And then by the time I try to get the metal guard cap over the top, it's not going to go. So then I thought, well, maybe I got these mixed up. So I pulled the small one off and I put the big one on. And this is supposed to be for the bottom. You can see it fits better on the top, but still there's not going to be, sorry about the camera work, I'm doing this one-handed, but there's no way that this is going to go all the way down and made up. So I don't know what these boots are for, but they are not for a 70-87 Camaro. So luckily the boots on my old set are in good shape. Here's an old boot, and I pulled them all apart. They're not dried out or anything. And these fit really nice. So what I'm hoping is the bottom ball joint, that I can't remember if these ball joints came with the Global West control arms, or if these came from Hotchkiss. I think they came from Hotchkiss. I think on the control arms, all I got was the arms, if I remember right. It's been a long time. And anyway, so what did I do with the bottom one? Okay. So this has got like a wax substance on it, but as far as I can tell, the rubber's still good. So I'm hoping this will fit on the bottom ball joint for the Global West control arm. So we'll see how it goes. Possibly a setback today. I may have to go find some different boots. I don't know. Here's my spring compressor. And what I do with these is I'll come down through the shock tower and grab a hold of the spring on the bottom just to take tension off of it once I get the shock out. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. It's a little disappointing. Really thought I was going to be able to get going, but these energy suspension things aren't even close to being right for factory style ball joints. Okay, so I got my coil spring compressor, the jacking bolt down through the shock tower. Just get this hooked onto the spring coils, tighten it up just a little bit. All I need to do is take tension off it. I don't need to compress it. Take the brake line part here and start taking the spindle apart from the ball joints and get the new boots on there. I'm hoping the bottom one will fit, like I said earlier in the clip. I think it will. Anyway, just kind of frustrating because the stuff's all brand new. It's just the car's been sitting here for a long time, and I did notice a difference between the rubber compound on the ones that rotted out versus the new ones I got. The new ones have more of a silicone type feel. Not the energy suspension stuff that doesn't fit, but the boots that came with the replacement ball joints, the TRWs. So they do feel a little bit different material. This stuff here is almost like a true rubber. It just dried and rotted out. Anyway, like I said, a little frustrating, but we'll get it done. And then once I get the ball joint boots put back in, I'm going to get the inner fenders installed, get the air conditioning installed, and start putting this front end clip back together. All right, so I got the top one loose. Found out these are 10 millimeter. So there's 10, and none of my standards fit this, and I seem to remember that now. And I was wondering why they were metric bolts. And maybe this was compressed too much, because this taper's slightly different, because wherever these came from, they're probably metric dimensions. They'll still work in the taper, but it's just that it compressed down a little bit too far. So maybe that's why this boot ended up cracking the way it did. I don't know. But anyway, everything's holding together. So we'll get this apart. I'm going to go ahead and replace the whole ball joint with the older TRW. And those are standard nuts and bolts. So I don't know what's up with the metric. Like I said, I can't remember where this came from. I don't know if it came as part of the Hotchkiss kit or if Global West sent them with the control arms. Honestly, I don't remember. Okay, so even though this is brand new, it had a couple of nicks and burrs on the taper. So I just took a jeweler's file and some sandpaper and smoothed it down. Make sure it seats inside the spindle nice and easy. All right, well, let's get the upper in there, and then we'll go after the bottom. I'm sure the bottom's going to be way more fun. Okay, so something else I noticed, the ones that came with my suspension kit are substantially smaller. The one on the left is the metric that just came out. The one on the right is the standard it's going in. The one on the right has grade 8 markings. So I don't know, because this is metric. It says JSF on it, and it's got some other number on it. So it may be equivalent to a grade 8. But anyway, these are old TRW made in the USA. So you can kind of see there's definitely a difference going on there. And like I said earlier, I'm going to know here in just a minute, but I got a feeling when I put that taper in there, this is going to sit a little bit higher on the spindle, and it's not going to compress the boot as much as the that metric thing down there, whatever it is. Okay, so I got the new TRW ball joint in there, and as I suspected, the taper doesn't go as deep into the spindle, so the boot is not smashed flat like the old one. The old one was just smashed all the way down. And here's the old brand new upper ball joint. All the attaching hardware, as I said in the previous clip, is thicker grade 8 bolt, and it's SAE standard instead of metric. And this attaching nut, you can see, is much smaller too, and that fits correctly. That's 7/8. So I'm assuming that's probably some metric. So I mean, this thing will work. I mean, if you had to use it, because the taper does end up nice and tight in the spindle. It just goes too deep and smashes the boot. So like I said, I don't know. This is what came with either the Hotchkiss suspension kit or the Global West control arms. I don't remember which. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but anyway, I'm glad this boot rotted out, because I wouldn't be doing all this if that hadn't rotted out, and I would have some metric thing that doesn't belong on this car. But anyway, so we got the upper replaced. I got to take the bottom apart and replace the boot on that. And same thing, that may be metric also, but I have a new ball joint that I can stick in the bottom too. Okay, so I ran into another snag. Global West used a MOOG K6145 ball joint in here, which does show up for this year Camaro 71, but the TRW ball joint dust seal, dust boot is smaller. This is what came off the Global West, and this is what fits the TRW, and it won't fit over the MOOG. So I did a little research, and then once again, this I don't know what this energy suspension thing is supposed to fit, but it doesn't fit anything that I have as far as TRW or MOOG. So I did a little research and found out that Prothane sells a kit, part number 191820, and these are the two dimensions that they sell with the kit that come closest to the MOOG. And this one here, the base is about right, the pin is about right, but it's a little bit taller, so the Prothane will be taller than this. And so anyway, I ended up calling MOOG, and just to see if they sell boots separately. And they've changed their ball joint design. They've went to an integral seal, and it's nothing like the old design. So he said I had two options. I could give him my address, and he'll sell me or send me for free, no charge, 2 boots that he has laying around. He said he's got quite a few of them still laying around, but since they went to the new ball joint, he says he doesn't get a request for them too often, so he's just going to mail them to me. So I thought, that's pretty cool. Don't know how long I'll have to wait for them. Some of the lower and upper control boots that are supposed to fit this, that I bought from Classic Industries, that don't fit this, they actually fit the tie rods pretty nice and snug. So I'll use those on the tie rod ends, and that won't be a complete loss. And it's a pretty snug fit around the pin and the base. So wasn't a complete loss. Anyway, Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.